second live session. And we're really excited that you guys could join us today. We have some very special guests that we can't wait to get into. But if you are watching this for the first time, or in case you've forgotten what we're doing here, I just want to remind everybody that it has come out of a culmination of lessons that I've been sharing from last year, just on stuff that I've learned in my journey, in the hope that it might be useful for somebody, for anybody, even if it's useful for one person. I was happy that people were learning from stuff that I went through in my journey. And so what I found was there were so many people that were responding. And I realized also that there's so many different perspectives to the lessons that I had learned. So we're really, really excited that we're able to do a series with different people. So you will see that it's called Life with Liliana and Friends. So all I'm doing is inviting some of my friends to just come on, just give us a platform to talk about different things that we've been challenged with, but around a central theme. So the theme that we are talking about in these next 6 weeks in the series is about working from home. So this is, working from home is something that everybody, when you hear about it, it sounds like a great thing that we want to do. Many organizations have started to put in different policies for flexible working. But when we are forced to work from home because of this pandemic, it's quite a different story, right? It isn't that easy to adjust. It isn't as maybe relaxing as some of us thought it would be. So last week, we listened to Moses and Kathy O'Connor. They came on and shared their story. If you haven't watched it, please go and have a watch. You will find so many great nuggets from there. But their perspective is from a couple who primarily work from home, okay? So they are pastors, they are leadership coaches and motivational coaches. So they work from home and on the road. And now in this season, they've had to share their working space. So their home is their working space with 3 other children who are school age. So they have learned so much. And it is a very, very useful session to watch. So I'd encourage you to go in and watch that. But today I have a different perspective and I'm really excited about these guys. So like I said, these are my friends. Whether they want to be my friends or not, they are my friends. And so I've actually, let me tell you, I'm not going to give you the history that you will, because these guys are probably familiar faces to you already. Celebrities, of course, like these are real celebrities, yeah? Not like some other wannabe celebrities that we have. These are real life celebrities here in Fiji. And so many of you know their stories. But for me, I will call them my friends because I felt, well, when I was growing up, Liliana was a celebrity in my life, right? So she was, the athlete, how you have like in school and you have these cool athletes that have all the attention? That was Liliana. And then you have the cheerleaders. You know what, I just have to say something. I reckon the cheerleaders actually sometimes work harder than the athletes on the actual day. I have to say, okay, the build up, yeah, maybe athletes prepare longer, but people have to appreciate we are on our feet like all day, around all events, cheering for everybody. But anyway, that's where I first saw Liliana. Amazing, amazing athlete. She went on after that to continue to represent Fiji, at a national level. And then she married this wonderful man who I say, like really on screen, looks like a Kaiwalangi, this handsome gentleman, Mr. Miller, Kaiwalangi from Fiji. And so they've been married for quite a while now. So they are both in athletics. And Mr. Miller, if you haven't heard from him, then I don't know where you've been hiding, but Albert Miller Sr. is an Olympian, okay? So like I said, these are celebrities we're dealing with today. So thank you guys for making time for us. And then we have Albert Miller Jr., who is also in athletics, and he's based in the US primarily. He's been there for 2 years now. Some of you may have known him from the secondary school athletics scene. He was in Marist, very popular athlete there as well. And now he is back in this season. Okay, so I've gotten to know Liliana. Of course, in that time, she was a celebrity that time, so athletes and cheerleaders don't really talk. But I only got to know her because I joined her boot camp. Actually, before I joined her boot camp, I was really keen to get my fitness up to par. So I've done a little bit of competing in another sport earlier, and then I had just got to a stage where I was very busy at work and I needed somebody to just, help me get back on my fitness journey. So Liliana took me for some personal fitness training because, and I know a lot of people can relate to this. When we want to get back into fitness, we don't really want to join a boot camp sometimes because we are very conscious that we are unfit. So I was really fortunate to have Liliana coach me through that time. Now I am also part of the boot camp sessions that she runs. So what they do currently is that they have formed a company that's called Miller Fitness Fiji, right? And so they've combined their experience with the different techniques and a very thoughtful approach to fitness. So it's not just personal fitness that they can assist with, it's also group fitness in the form of boot camp and Zumba. But more recently, since Albert's come back, they have also included kids fitness. Does that actually come under Miller Fitness, Liti?
Yeah,
it does, right? And my family has responded to that. Some of you may also follow me personally, where you see that my 11-year-old is our chief cook, he's our chef, and he's feeding us a lot of things. So we are so thankful to the Millers to help us burn off all those calories. And now Gideon also has a coach in Albert Miller Jr., and they have designed a fantastic program for the kids. As you know, kids don't like to exercise that much, so it's very fun. Unfortunately, Albert Jr. often asks the parents to be involved, so we end up sweating too. So maybe that will change in the near future. But there is a lot going on in their lives. And one of the key things, the key perspectives that I wanted them to bring to this is that their line of work is primarily physical interaction. When you have a fitness coach, you're used to having your coach with you. You're used to them standing beside you, showing you the right form, okay? Showing you, like stretching you. So it's a very personalized physical kind of contact industry. Now, from where I'm sitting, it didn't seem like this Miller Fitness missed a beat when all of this happened, which is very strange. And so we are going to talk to them about their story and how they adjusted and what they're doing to kind of, stay sane, I guess, in this season. So we're going to start with Liti. We're going to hear from all of them today. We're going to start with Liti. And I just want, Liti, before we talk about this immediate season that we're in, because we've been through a similar season last year where things just stopped all of a sudden. And I remember we were right in the middle of boot camp at that time. So can you just talk us through, like, when that happened, what was your reaction and how did you respond? Talk us through that process at that time in 2020.
Well, first of all, hi, everybody. And thank you, Liliana, for that introduction. That was very overwhelming.
Very colorful.
Very colorful. Okay, so let me just go right into the point. Okay, so when the first lockdown happened last year, we scrambled. We're like, oh my God, what is happening? And, we kind of figured out that we had to quickly pivot into a new way of teaching, because like Liliana said, that in our industry, it's all about physical contact, being there personally in face-to-face sort of situation. Huh? So like when we went on lockdown, we had to really look for solution whereby we continue to maintain the way that we teach, but just somehow get it through the screen somewhere. So we kind of had to go online real quick. And thank goodness we have friends like Lily, and also we had a family friend who was also my client, Nella, who was instrumental in setting us up with this online stuff. So we had a little bit of help from here and there. And
Right.
also, during that time, Boy was overseas. I call him Boy because he's my
Right.
husband's namesake. So he was in the States at that time, and with his help, and Nella and David, who was my computer savvy, who was starting to really get into computer, we kind of, so brainstorm ideas. And the next best thing for us was the obvious and possible solution for us was to do the messenger chat group, because this was the only easiest. I mean, like, everybody knew about the messenger, so I talk to my friends every once in a while, and we chat, video chat and everything. So this was the only way that we can get across, like, in that short of time, because we just, I mean, it was like Lily said, it was like right in the middle of our boot camp that we went offline. I mean, that we had to go on lockdown.
Yeah.
So in order for me to continue, we just quickly went into Messenger. I said, okay, let's just do Messenger for now, and then we can explore what other platforms that we could use, to properly get ourselves, to kind of continue into it. Yeah.
Right.
So we got into Messenger, and so the training started on Messenger video chat.
Yes, I forgot that.
Yes.
You did start on Messenger. Yes.
Yes. You know how it was. So
yes,
we went on Messenger. So, like, even though video chat was happening during that time, it was like not so much. Yeah. I mean, we only know how to message each other on Messenger. So we tried that out. It worked for a while, until one day that there was like more than 10 people, I think, decided to enter the boot camp. And all of a sudden, people started getting locked out of the thing, remember? So, like, some people were like outside. The ones that tuned in early, they managed to get in. But then I think it went up to 9 or 10 people, and that was it. Everybody else is locked out. So after that incident, we figured, okay, we need to get away from Messenger and do something, go to a platform where we can have more people. So this is when Zoom came in. Somebody somehow mentioned Zoom. I think it was Nella. And then, I think Lisa Apted. She was also part of the boot camp at that time.
Right, yes.
And so she gave the idea. She said, why don't you try Zoom? So we went to Zoom. Lo and behold, the Zoom session was only 45 minutes per meeting.
Right.
And our session was like 1 hour. So there was another, we went through another situation in there.
Yes.
And so after that obstacle, one of our friend at boot camp again, her name was Tasha. So she works for the forum secretariat. And so these guys here, they are used to the Zoom meeting and all that. I was kind of intimidated by doing the Zoom, because I mean, I was not really an IT savvy person. So I didn't really want to get into something that I wasn't comfortable with. But then she offered to give us her account so that she can run the meeting, and then I just do the whole 1 hour workout on the. So it happened, and that's when we sort of pivot into. That's how the Miller Fitness Fiji online program started. So it kind of like was a scramble at first, but then it was through trial and error. Nothing comes, You're not perfect,
Yes.
That's the message that I want to convey to people who are watching tonight.
Right.
It's not, don't be scared, just like the exercises that we do online. Some people are like worried that they'll be, they'll be on screen and people will be watching them and all that kind of stuff. But for us, I mean, we're just as nervous as you would when you enter, when you come in as a new client. So we want to give you the best, and we want to make it about you. So anyhow, so the bootcamp session carried on, and then that was we settled the bootcamp right there when Tasha started offering her account for meetings. And then so when it went on, we kind of thought, so Tasha was giving me some kind of crash course on how the Zoom works, how all this spotlighting and whatnot. And that's how the boot camp was. But then I had the Zumba going on. And so
Right.
the Zumba kind of just ended. Like, okay, everybody, just wait, Manda. Just let me just organize myself with one step at a time. So when camp was flowing well, then we thought, okay, now let's try out Zumba. Let's see how we're gonna attack Zumba. And then the first thing that came to mind was just to go do a live session on Facebook. So that's how Zumba started. So I just went, okay, let's not put Zumba on Zoom for now. Let's just do a live session because I mean, like I said, once again, Facebook is a familiar platform for everybody.
Right.
Anybody and everybody knows how to work Facebook, right? So we did a couple of sessions on Facebook. It last year it was fine. I did like a couple of 1 hour sessions, but I think now you can do like a live session for more than 30 minutes, I think.
I see.
Yeah.
Okay.
So now it's like live session. Like I think this program is on 30 minutes because after that, then Facebook say, okay, enough your time, you know? So that's what happened. So after a couple of my live sessions last year, like the very last live session that I did, after 30 minutes, they cut us out and then we had to re-enter again or whatever. Press the start button again.
Yes.
Yeah.
I
So
see.
yeah, and the only setback about the Facebook Live is fancy. It's it's good. It's almost like doing the live classes in the gym. But the only thing is the copyright issue, because we use a lot of music.
Right.
So,
Wow. Okay.
yeah. So when with Facebook, like if we play like the kind of music that because with Zumba, we play all the, like the top 10, top 20 music that we hear on F96 or whatever. So when that goes on Facebook, Facebook mutes us. So we're like robots just dancing and no
I see.
kind of thing. So anyhow.
Okay.
Yes. So when that happened, because when I went on Facebook, I had known that. So the only music that I would play was the Zumba, special Zumba music. Yeah.
Okay.
So that we are not muted.
Okay.
But when we post the thing, then they mute us.
Right.
So I said, okay. So okay, everybody. This is just to promote the Zumba that we're going to have on Zoom. So we kind of promoted the session on Facebook Live, and then we got everybody to go onto Zoom. But you know what? It's totally different when you're doing like a normal bootcamp Zoom session compared to the Zumba Zoom session.
Yeah.
Zumba is like all about music, right?
Yes.
So we found out after a couple of sessions, we found out we have had to upgrade our microphone.
Yes.
We have had to, for sound system, and we have had to upgrade our internet because when you're dancing, I think there's fast movements, and I think it chews up internet somehow, and so we have to,
Okay.
So that's what happened. We upgraded our microphone for music, and then we upgraded our internet.
I see.
Yes. So that's how things happen. And then we got some more friends who managed to give us some lighting and stuff like that.
Yes.
And that's when we were confident enough to carry on with our Zoom.
Right. So, a few things happened in that time. Like one, I can hear that you needed to hear the opinions from others. Like you used a lot of different opinions to inform what you were going to do next. So you were very open to like, okay, this has happened, guys. So not only people in your household, but also friends that you had made through your business, right? Through the training and through the Zumba. But another word that you said quite often is pivot. Like we had to pivot, and then we had to pivot, and then this happened, and then we had to do this, and then this happened, and we have found we needed more, new resources. And I think that's a great lesson. That's a great thing for us to all take away, because again, these are times that these are unprecedented times. We haven't been through anything like this before. And so there's no process for us to follow. So I like that you say that, because sometimes we are too hard on ourselves when we try something and it's not working and we're like, oh my gosh, I just want to give up. But then what it sounds like you did was like, you tried this, okay, this wasn't working, let me try this and let me try this. So trying different things to see what will work, and we will find something, right? You'll definitely find something. Just getting into the habit of pivoting, trying new things. Yeah. So while on that, Albert Jr., so you've just come back, right? And you've come back from, of course, a big country and your life there. And it sounds like I'm just here. I heard for the first time now that you were actually involved when your mom went live and, you know, trying to get her online and, you know, all this transitioning. So I don't know what that involvement was like, but could you share with us what you were thinking about when you were coming back? Was it like an easy move to come back? Did you already have a view of how you were going to come and adjust to being in Fiji? What was that process like for you?
Well, my initial plan was, because I was pretty much locked up for a whole year in the US,
right,
with my aunt and them. I was planning just to come back and relax, but
so then come and lock again over here. Just time out.
Because my mom is so hands-on with her business and all that, I had to quickly adjust to helping her out and trying to solve all these little problems that we were going through.
Right.
So I was, even when I was in the US, I was up at 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock in the morning helping mom with her Zoom sessions, and so I wasn't.
Oh, what a good son.
So my sleep schedule was messed up, but it was just because I had to help my mom and make sure that she was all okay.
Right. So when you came back, did you expect that you were going to take on a bigger role in Miller Fitness?
Yes. Initially, that was the idea. Mom kept on reminding me, yes, about to come back and then help her run the. So it was in the back of my mind, just me being the typical son. I just ignore it. And
you're not a typical son. You are a good son. I'm sure not all sons are like you. You are an excellent son. So with this whole kids fitness one, is that something that was part of the plan? How did that come to be?
Not really. We didn't. Mom would notice that the kids would come and join in, disturb their parents during their workouts,
right,
boot camps. So she was talking to one of her friends, and then they came up with this one, kids. How about you include the kids into?
Wow.
And that's where that idea. Mom started pushing it to us and pushing our buttons.
That I was talking to.
Pushing our buttons, and we kind of would just rub it off and didn't really. But once we had put our minds to it and kind of solved the problem of what we were supposed to do, it finally
yes
came into play.
Yeah. So, you know, in this season, I'm sure, like even for you, you had a lot of plans that you did touch on very briefly. And don't worry, I'm not going to dig into, expect you to give us all your plans. Yeah. But what I'm interested to know is, you know, you're the eldest of the kids, right? So you're the eldest one, and you come from, you know, your parents have achieved so much in the field that you are in. And so I can imagine, for me, I'm not saying this for you, that would be like, it's great because you have like great role models. I'm really interested to know, like, what kind of lessons have you learned from them? And this will help me as a parent, and I'm sure other parents, that has kind of helped you in this season. That's not an easy season. What have they passed on to you that's been helpful?
Well, I'd say, like, in a way you think it's like an easy, because they're so big and great and have achieved all these things. You think it's easy for me to try and hang on to that or follow in their path. It's kind of, in a way, the pressure also, as well as
right.
Also, I mean, being a typical kid, also kind of gets to you. And but then they've taught me through patience and just persistence of doing your work, and slowly just one day, take it a day at a time. Just, instead of rushing into things, you take it one day at a time, and then you see.
Yes.
So it kind of, yeah, they're pretty good with teaching me. We are not very vocal with our things, but at the back of our minds, we know what we're talking. We catch each other's vibe.
Yes. That's such an interesting, you got such a beautiful dynamic in your home, so beautiful. Because I can see, like, I'm not, like, it looks like there can be, you can come to heated conversations sometimes because your mom, even though she's probably the tiniest, looks like she's probably got the biggest personality. And you don't say there's not many words, but I'm sure she gives enough words for all of you together.
Oh, yeah.
Which brings me to your dad. Now, with Albert Miller Sr., right? Many call him Mr. Miller. He is always at the boot camp. This is one beautiful thing with this couple, right? So you'll see Liti like bouncing off the walls, almost literally. And then you'll just have this stabilizing force that's around her. That's the best way I can describe it. Like making sure that the weights are there, making sure the mats are there. Liti will walk in with her boombox. As long as she's got her music and her cameras, everything, she's fine. Plugging on a boombox and that's it. And then, there's Mr. Miller making everything happen. And it's such a beautiful partnership. So, Albert Senior, I'm really interested to know, with all of this going on in your household, with 3 grown boys and a wife that's personality is huge, you're all in the company together. How are you all able to live and work together and stay sane? Like, how does that work? Do you ever find that it gets too much, or is there some magic that you have that you can share with us?
Well, thank you very much for having us anyway. Well, and, as you alluded to it, I'm always in the background.
Yes.
I've had my limelight as far as sports and all these other things. But for me, the most important thing is to be seen and not seen. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Yeah. Because I let, when it comes to Miller Method, boot camp and all the fitness programs, I let Liti and the boys run that. That's their
Yes.
the cup of tea here. For me, it's just, I'm always in the background. Whenever whenever there's chaos, I'll come in and say one or two things, and then back off and just let them sort it out. Yeah, so that's my role.
Yeah.
For some people, it may not look like it's a lot, but for me, like you said, I'm the person, invisible person in the background that's trying to cuddle everybody together and making sure, hey, it's gonna be okay. Because Liti, once in a while, everything is like last minute, bouncing off the wall, as you said. And I'm always making sure, like, you probably remember sometimes when we come to the gym, oh my God, we forgot the mats.
Yes, yes.
Well, there goes Mr. Miller driving back home. But that's my role.
Yes.
Yes, like I said, I've had my days. I'm sort of semi-retired or retired person.
Yes.
And even though I still work a lot with athletics as the development officer, but when it comes to the family, I always make sure that that I'm always in the background and making sure that making sure I'm putting all the oil in all the joints and making yes, so that there's no hiccups. There's always going to be hiccups. I mean, that's you said this the other day. There's no family that's perfect.
Yes.
And we're not perfect in any stretch of imagination, but we managed to basically have our own space. Liti is the one that basically sort of disciplines the boys, and I'm always in the background.
Right.
Sometimes she goes off on the boys, I won't say anything. I'll pick my moment, the right moment.
Right.
When one of the boys and I are going out to drive, or for a drive, or going to the shop, or whatever. Then I'll say, remember what your mom said?
Right.
Your mom's like that, so you have to learn from it. And that's my input. I think, especially in these trying times, too often as parents we get very we attack the kids a lot. We're not giving them space. I think if one parent says something, the other parent should back off.
Right. Okay. That's good advice.
Yeah, you provide the support when it's needed. Because
Right.
can you imagine, you got your son or your daughter, getting attacked by the mom, by the dad, who else she's going to turn to or who he's going to turn to. So I think it's important lesson for us is if mom is trying to discipline the kid, dad has to back off.
Right.
And in their own moment or in their own time, can come in and just say one or two things. I'm being the coach. Remember, I'm the head coach.
Yes. Yes.
Yes, yes. In coaching
I love
athletics,
that.
yeah. In coaching athletics, you have cue words.
Right.
You say something to your son. Just remember, your mom's like that or this or so next time you have to be careful with what you're doing or saying.
Yes.
And that's it. Enough.
Yes.
You don't want to go beyond that because then it becomes a lecture rather than a lesson.
Yes.
Yeah.
I see. You know what? You have articulated that so well, your role so well. And I really have to honor you here because you have achieved so much on your own. And you could have easily said, you know what? I'm the Olympian here. I am the head coach. I am the boss, but you have given your wife and your children the space to create something. And I know that that means a lot because I'm really thankful that my husband does the same for me. If we don't have that support, and it actually takes a lot in our culture for a man to be able to say, you know what, I'm just going to let my wife grow. I'm going to support her because it's her season. Or it's, I've had my season and I'm happy with that and I've achieved this. And now I'm going to give all I can here because it's a different season. And so I'm really thankful that you shared that. And, you're just such a beautiful family dynamic, I have to say. And it feels like everybody just kind of knows their roles. And I'm sure, like you said, it's not perfect. There must be times when there's some of this. But you also gave us some great parenting advice about, especially for moms and dads, because we often do that, I'll discipline. And then sometimes the children see that the parents are not on the same page. And then they start to play parents off against each other. Okay, kids, Albert Jr., we see you guys when you try and, do that. I take the car and then you go and ask the other one, when the other one say no and all of that. Not that it happens to you because you are the perfect son, like we've heard. But I really, you guys have really just exposed so much of yourselves to us this evening. And so thank you for being so open with that. You know what, our time is over and I just want to keep on talking to you guys, but our time is over. But just to end, can you just give us, because self-care is really important, right? So I would have loved for all of you to say something, but maybe just one of you, if you have something you want to leave with us, because you've got everything going on, you're so busy, we all need time for ourselves. And so I'm really interested to know how you get time to yourselves. Again, in a family, works together and lives together and everything together. How do you kind of get that time for yourself?
I think in the middle of everything, it's like you need to. For me, because of my profession, because I'm always interacting with my clients,
yes.
I need to be pretty in front of the screen, When you're pretty in front of the screen, you shine and then you get the vibes back from your clients.
Right.
So, and then during this time, you're, oh yeah, I do.
What do you do?
Yeah. He said, I do meditation.
Okay.
Every once in a while I like to meditate. It's just my time to myself. So I wake up in the morning and this is just time where I sit and just, think about myself, think about my life and how I would, pursue the day. So that's really what I do as self-care. And then, in as far as glamming up, we will have to can you notice I've just done my
yes, you look gorgeous, my sister. You look beautiful. I can see.
Going through the hair because otherwise the thing is everywhere. But this all comes in with you can't forget about that. It just gives you that oomph, that boost of energy, that then you will be able to carry your workout during the day.
Okay.
So I started learning how to pluck my eyebrows again because we were on lockdown.
Oh, yes, that's important. Yeah, that's how we all started. I'm surprised I forgot how to pluck my own
Okay.
eyebrows.
Yes.
So I'm a little bit veve, so I can't. Okay, that's good. And so, you know, I said only one, but I think I want to just point out something because Albert Senior talked about gardening last time, which was really interesting. And so is that a way in which you spend your time and just have time to yourself? Is that right for me to?
Yes, if I had my way, I'll be outside 7 hours out of 8 hours in a day.
Wow.
I love gardening.
Yes.
Not only cactus or flowers. I plant cassava, andalo, yam. So that's my way of. That's my time to myself.
I love that. I love that.
Yeah. So you know, it's a very productive leisure time.
Yes, and I bet all of that time there that really settles your mind, because when you come back into the house and then you have
Yes.
and then you come in with this peaceful demeanor.
Yeah.
Oh
As soon
my
as
God.
It's like that.
I know as soon as I get into the house, it's time to cook.
Oh man, this is amazing.
Meanwhile, the wife is dancing in front of him. That's why he does very well.
That's so good. Okay, so Albert Jr., just so you don't feel left out, this is actually interesting for me. So as a young adult, what do you, I mean, maybe self-care is not the right word, I don't know, but what do you do to keep yourself energized, to re-energize yourself and to take time alone? What do you do in your time outside of?
Working out has played a really big role in keeping me sane.
Right.
Yeah, working out has really worked out for me. So
I
as an athlete, it kind of works both ways, win-win.
Yes.
Yeah.
Awesome. Man, you guys, I wish we had more time to talk. I really enjoyed this. You know, it's easy to, I think we just need to, when all these restrictions stop, then we will have a barbecue and we will sit down and talano some more. And if you guys want to join us, you have to make friends with the Millers first so they can invite you to their house. But I know I'm going there to have some of that cassava and the kumala from the garden. But thank you guys so much for just being so open. And I really love that you also brought out the importance of the physical side of things, because in these times we often forget, and people are not exercising, people are eating a lot, we're sedentary, we're at home and not realizing just how much our physical fitness or our level of fitness, if you like, has got to actually affects our mind and our peace of mind and helps us think better and really generally gets us into a good mood. I found that for me also, relaxes us, reduces stress levels. So if any of you are interested, I just realized when Albert Senior said the name that I've been saying that, you know, I've been practicing the name. Like all I know is that Mila, I've been getting right. And I'm like, it's Mila Fitness Fiji. Even when I do my posts and I tag, when I say my short videos, always getting it wrong, but it's Mila Method Fitness, right?
It's Miller Fitness Fiji.
Okay, so I was right.
Yeah. The Miller Method is part of the boot camp program.
Oh, I see. So that's like the method in which the exercise kind of, okay. So Miller Fitness Fiji, you can find them online. You can join any one of their classes. I would highly recommend them. But thank you guys again for joining us online. And thank you so much, Millers. Like, I really can't thank you enough. We have learned so much from tonight's session. Okay, well, you have a good evening, everybody. Have a great weekend. See you